one rental at a time. Couple of quick announcements as we get started. First and foremost, as you know, we had Anna Kelly on our show yesterday. And I forget what video it was. I think it was video number 2. It was called Her Best Financial Decision. If you haven't watched that video yet, I highly recommend it. It may be, frankly, it might be one of the more important videos I have ever done on this channel. It really takes the concept of cheat code to wealth, income snowball, and Anna shares with us that it was the best financial decision she ever did. Anna Kelly has gone on to do amazing things, as we hear every week, but it all started with selling a home, moving in with in-laws for a little while, then a fourplex, and then starting her journey. She house hacked with 2 kids and a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath unit inside a fourplex. She talks about, the income snowball. It wasn't called that when she was doing it, but she saved $2,000 a month, which really became seed capital. So do yourself a favor. If you haven't seen a video yet with Anna Kelly, you're missing out. But yes, the video yesterday, her best financial decision, probably one of the more important videos I've done in 3 years. Next up, yesterday I announced just off the top of my head an interesting giveaway. I was going to do the first 10 people that bought my mentoring option, how to get started one rental at a time, which includes a 30-minute one-on-one mentoring. I was going to give you 2 autographed books, both the original and the new one. Looks like we've got 2 spots taken already, so we are down to 8. Again, if you add them up, that's 50 or 60 bucks off. Again, these books are expected in around the 20th or so. So if you've ever thought about getting the mentoring option, you want some help, you need a little extra kick or a little extra incentive, there you go. Again, link below. And then finally, for the first time, my podcast, which is of course also called One Rental at a Time, had 50,000 views in a week. I just wanted to thank each and every one of you who are now listening. And again, that is pretty amazing. So thank you for that. As we get started today, it is Thursday. We're doing this early because we will be speaking with Jonathan Twomley in about 28 minutes. First thing we need to talk about is jobless claims. Again, the most important number of the week of the month is tomorrow. It is September job creation. We got ADP report yesterday, which above expectations. We got jobless claims, which is a weekly discussion point for us. Today, it beat expectations, in this case below. New claims were 326,000 on an expectation of 345, and a week-on-week drop from 364. So all good numbers. We will see. Remember, if you want to participate with this channel, leave a comment below. Tell me, are we going to be above or below 500,000 tomorrow? Over, under, the number is 500. Are you taking the over or under? Leave a comment below. And of course, don't forget, we have Happy here. We are still trying to get to 500 thumbs up. And if we do that on any of these daily financial news, I will buy some new toys for both Happy and Sunny. So it's up to you. Give us some thumbs up and we will see if we get to 500. Someday we will. Maybe you can help us get there today. I don't know if you've seen this. Anna Kelly and I talked about it again. It's still being kicked around. It looks like the Biden administration is interested in arming the IRS with banking data on everyone who does a transaction over $600. That seems A, like a lot of information. B, it seems like an awful big intrusion. And it will be sold as a catch the tax cheat. I got to tell you, I can't see it flying at $600. I have a hard time believing at $6,000. If you want to do it on 60 grand, go ahead. 600 grand for sure. But really, if we did something like this, it would be much like China. Remember just the other day I was talking about what is going to go on in the China economy? Individual citizens, seeing what's going on around them, they are going to start hoarding cash. They're going to start holding gold. If the U.S. adopts a similar intrusion, I suspect a lot of Americans would do the same thing. Hoard cash under the mattress, a la the Depression, gold, diamonds, other things. We do not like our government looking over our shoulders. So again, we got to remember there are ramifications, should we say? And again, it is government intervention is oversight, all those things, not a great idea. So I know it's just, yeah, would we hold gold, silver, cash? I don't know, pretty crazy. Looks like the debt ceiling is going to be adjusted for a couple of months. A couple of things about this. First and foremost, it always was. It was political theater. I actually think McConnell is. I think he's doing this on purpose. He's trying to give the Democrats just enough rope to highlight their dysfunction. I think McConnell is counting on Bernie Sanders, the entitlement guy, and West Virginia and Arizona kind of on the centrist, kind of making it a public battle and making the Democrats look bad. If Biden can't get this through the first 2 years, I don't see the Democrats doing very good at the midterm elections, and then it's all over from there. So again, I think McConnell's doing the right thing for us. We had to raise it. He knows it. You and I know it. Had to get done. I think the fact that he's doing it a month or two at a time, from his perspective, is genius. Give him some rope. Let him let the world know that just how out of step the Democratic Party is. It's interesting to see them shoot at each other. Usually it's Democrats and Republicans. Now the Democrats are shooting at each other. It's wild to watch. George Soros. Here is another question I would love to hear from you. So George Soros, his, fund, his company, supposedly owns some Bitcoin. Owns some, but not a lot. So here's my question for you. When a billionaire says they don't own a lot, what does that mean? Because they did admit to owning coins, so that means at least 2, but not a lot. I'm just curious, what do you think not a lot is? 10? 100? I just don't know. When a billionaire says they don't own a lot, I just don't know what that means. So let me know what you think it means. How many Bitcoins do you think George Soros, the billionaire, owns? I think I'm going to guess 25. But I have no idea. It's a wild guess. Let me know what you think below. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So we're having some earnings come out. We talked about these on Sunday, kind of the week ahead. Generally speaking, they have been positive. Positive again. ConAgra, again, a packaged food company, beat top and bottom, beat by a penny. So slight beat, but beat. More importantly, they said they are maintaining guidance. That is what I didn't think ConAgra would be able to do. I thought ConAgra would say things like inflation and shipping and all of those things. We have to reduce guidance. They said, no, we are going to maintain guidance even though inflation is everywhere. That's a ballsy move right there because I think the market was expecting them to take it back. The fact that they didn't means they will be held accountable in 90 days. On top of that, Levi's beat top and bottom. This one we called. I highlighted that denim seems to be going through a resurgence as we get out and enjoy ourselves more. We go to more movies, ball games, concerts, back to the office, back to school, that there would certainly be a refresh of denim, and they beat top and bottom. Of course, on the refresh of outfits was what they called. So no surprise there. One thing I did see surprise today is Costco released some same-store sales numbers for September, and they were actually higher than expected. So are we doing, what are we doing at Costco? Are we buying toilet paper and water, or are we buying back to school and Christmas stuff? What is going on? So interesting stuff to watch. Saw an article about investors 18 to 34. These are stock market investors. At least that's what they were called. I will challenge that name in a minute. Apparently, 50% or greater of 18 to 34-year-olds invest for the thrill. Really? Invest for the thrill? One of the things that I learned after turning 7 into 190 into 40 is you are not an investor if you are investing for the thrill. You are a trader or a speculator or a gambler, but you are not an investor. Don't call yourself an investor, which I did when I was, what was I doing? I think I was trading and then I was flat out gambling. It worked until it didn't. Do yourself a favor. If you're one of these folks, 18 to 34, and you're investing for the thrill, by all means, go nuts. Just don't call yourself an investor. That's not okay. Next up, I'm not a fan of this buy now, pay later. I think this is another way to get brought into the rat race. It is going to leave a lot of people financially ruined. So here's the deal. I actually saw an example of this. Buy now, pay later. If you've watched this channel for a long time, you know I have season tickets to the Warriors. One thing I looked at yesterday is what would a front row, like first row seat cost? Just curious, right? So apparently for the next game against the Lakers, it was $2,500 a seat. That's a lot of money. But here's the deal. It offered a buy now, pay later. This is the stupidest financial decision people are making today. You can spend $2,500 now to get a ticket, or you can spend $526.87 a month for 12 months. You might feel all high and mighty sitting in that seat knowing you plunked down roughly $525. How are you going to feel when you're doing that the next 11 months? Folks, that $2,500 seat turns into $6,322.44. If you can't afford to pay cash, you can't afford it. You can't buy it twice, don't do it. This buy now, pay later thing is going to destroy Gen Z, millennials, anybody doing this. That is, I'm not even sure how that's legal, right? That is, now they're being very clear not to call it interest because that's got to be usury rates. But damn, that is some $2,500 into $6,300. Don't you ever do a buy now, pay later. That is terrible. Other things going on, I'm starting to think more and more about China, this common prosperity, all of these things. This is where I'm at, some things I've thought about. First and foremost, did you know luxury goods like Prada and Louis Vuitton and all that really high-end stuff? Did you know that 50% of their sales are in China? Who is willing to bet that the rich, the upper middle class, stop buying goods? They do not want to flex. They do not want to call attention. They do not want the Chinese government to come in and take their stuff. If you own stock in one of these luxury goods companies, you got to ask yourself, what happens if China demand goes down, down, down? Next up, innovations. Chinese companies, tech companies specifically, has been whacked. Education, arcades, all of these things. What is innovation going to look like in 5 years? I'm thinking almost non-existent. Foreign capital. What country, what business, what person would invest, put new money in China when it is treated badly, has no rules, and they don't want to pay you back? Foreign companies. I believe, could be totally wrong. I believe foreign companies are one of the next things to fall. I believe the Chinese government is going to make it increasingly uncomfortable, expensive, and adopt mechanisms and means that drive foreign companies out. What happens when the international scene no longer trusts China? Not that there was a lot of trust to begin with, but what happens if it goes backwards? And then finally, what happens to commodities? Without question, obviously with the property boom, commodities have been sucked into China at records levels, which probably has meant companies that produce commodities have ramped up supply. If China backtracks, China has a recession, or heaven forbid, a depression, what happens to those countries that are dependent on commodities? Lots of things going on in this world. This China change, this common prosperity is going to have ripple effects for years to come. Something else talking about China is their land sales. As we are saying, or as I've highlighted, the ripples are just starting, the dominoes are just starting to fall. We've already talked about second, third, fourth Chinese developers not being able to pay debt. Now we have land sales that have driven tax receipts for, what do they call them? I was going to call them cities. They call them regional governments. Regional governments are down 17.5%. Regional governments rely on these tax receipts for 1/5 of their receipts. What happens if that goes up? What do they do? More bonds, whatnot. Then lastly, I saw that Kathy Wood is leaving New York. She is saying bye-bye, New York. Hello, Florida. Looks like she's moving her ARK Invest, I think is what it's called. Anyways, the Kathy Wood company. She's going to St. Petersburg, Florida to enjoy the sunshine. She is leaving New York. So that's what I got for you folks. I have a really busy day. I have calls at 7:30 and 9:30 and 10:30 and 12:30. Today's going to be a lot of fun. Take care of yourself. Have a wonderful day. And don't forget, we've only got 12 thumbs up. We get to 500. We're going to buy this cute little puppy some toys. So help us out. Take care. Bye-bye.